So, as you guys know, Superhero Cuts isn't a show anymore. And I'm going to get into why it isn't a show anymore. And we need to call out the truth here because I have been accused of things that is just not true. And we're going to go through everything from the beginning to the end because I cannot just tolerate slander being and smut being put on my name. And, we just got to just talk about the truth here. So let's get into it. So, before Superhero Cut started, the channel was called the Superhero Post. It was a channel that I had, and I was just uploading content, trying to figure out the YouTube, right? Comic Cuts. He ended up actually commenting under my photo, saying something or like a video. I responded back in a very, rage baiting way, like I usually do. Him and I ended up talking, and I said, "Hey man, jump on the show." He was afraid to hop on the show. And I said, "Look, man, join the show. And let's just be a guest." He hopped on and he didn't want to come back. And I said, "Bro, like you have a real talent, hop on the show." So he ended up coming on the show and then he became a permanent co-host, right? And then obviously, we ended up merging together, becoming superhero cuts, all of that jazz. And like our podcast really did a lot of views for it. Like we went crazy. And that was for someone aka to myself, who was really the producer of the show. We were really just pulling up and just making it happen. But the reality is I edited all of the content. I did the clips and I purposely put him in the forefront. You know what I'm saying? And he did network a lot for himself, but he did network a lot and got us into a lot of doors, which was cool. And in the prime of Supercuts, we really had a pool of just creators that we were all cool with, and it was a fun, experience. But this is where things go left. As the channel grew, he kept thinking that people were taking his takes, right? So it first started with Nerd Speech. So Nerd Speech is this random creator, and he is on his side of the internet. And the reality is, Comic Cuts didn't agree with his politics, and because he didn't agree with his politics, he picked on him all the time. And then on top of that, he started accusing him of stealing his takes. Because the way and not even and Nerd Speech is on the low end because I'm not even sure if he's even a creator anymore. But it gets even worse because then he assumed that the Den of Nerds was stealing his content. And then he assumed that I was stealing his content. So you guys gotta understand, this guy doesn't understand how content works. This is the way that he thinks. The way that Comic Cuts thinks is that because he tweeted something, right? And because like we're friends and I watch what all of my friends tweet, right? um he thinks that like I was watching his tweets to steal content. Here's a prime example. So I guess like a year ago, at the time, he tweeted something about Norman Osborn, right? And about a year later, 6 to 8 months later, whatever time, I made a video on why Spider-Man needs Norman Osborn in the MCU. And this came after he told me to read the JMS Spider-Man run. And when I read that, I'm like, yo, man, like, and if you know who JMS is, JMS is John Michael Straczynski. And I was like, hey, man, like, yo, Spider-Man really needs Norman Osborn. And that run is where I got the idea from. And then he then tried to tell me, because I made that video when he's the one that told me to read the comic, that I stole his content. And that's not how that works. Like that's not how that works in the world of content whatsoever. I also made a video after he told me to read the Fantastic Four run. And I read, Avengers, and then I read the Avengers run. I read all of Hickman's Avengers going to Secret Wars. And I'm gonna stutter in this. I'm not really gonna edit because I don't really care. So I read the whole entire run from New Avengers to Avengers World to Secret Wars, all that. And I made a video on why Dr. Doom hates Reed Richards. This man tried to tell me that I stole the content because of a tweet he made. Mind you, I made this video months before he even tweeted about it. And he even himself went back and was like, "Oh yeah, my bad, bro." Because he just assumes that because he has an idea, like people steal it. But here is the issue. He thinks because he tweets something, he's the owner of the thought. Little does this dude know that his thoughts are generic as like it's not like he's putting out like crazy stuff. So here's a prime example. He said that Iron Man will be in Avengers Doomsday. And the funny thing is I actually said it first on our show, but I don't care. Like who cares? Because it's a basic take. And if someone knew that I made a video or tweeted about it, it's not my take only, because other people could come to the same conclusion as me, because we are all covering the same topics. And when you're in an industry like making superhero content, right? or comic book movie content where we're all covering the same stuff, a lot of us are going to come to the same conclusion. So if I agreed with you, right, that Iron Man is going to be in Doomsday and I make a video about it and you don't, that doesn't mean that I stole your content. It just means that you're lazy and that you didn't make any content on a video that when you first had a thought, you should have did it. You should have made a video. But that's not how you think because you're not a content creator. And that's just the truth. And you are just a dude who was really baby fed a platform, right? And you want to now govern what other people can post about. No, that's not how this works. And then this dude talked about calling me a thief and the liar. And this is the wild part. And the reason why it will forever be up with him. And I pray to God that I don't see this guy in person because I don't want to lose my character. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, if I saw this man today, I would lose my character. I would crash out. Because the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that this man ended our show on the day I came home from my son. I posted on TikTok saying, "Hey y'all, I'm kind of off the socials right now. I'm enjoying my son, greatest moment of my life, other than giving my life to Christ and get married." The second I come home from with my son for the first time, that weekend got cooked because of the fact that one of the greatest things that I prided myself on, which was our show, which I enjoyed and loved, he ended it right there. And not only did he end it, because if he ended it, I wouldn't have really been as mad. But what made me mad is that someone that I considered a close friend called me a liar and a thief. The man called me a liar and a thief, bro. Like that is like someone who I considered a close friend in my life called me a liar and a thief. And the thing is that this boy, right? This boy doesn't understand that, like, yes, he has good takes, but I was the one who saw the potential in him and put it on display for the whole world to see. I made him shine in the content because I knew who he was. I knew that he is self-centered and look, and when it came to content, I knew that I had to put him at the front and center. Not only because his takes are good, it doesn't mean that his takes are better than mine, but I just knew that like he's brash, he's very aggressive. Those are good people to have in your clips because it makes people want to watch it. And he took that as saying, "Oh, you know what I mean, like, yo, Stevie just doesn't have good clips." Like, so or Stevie just doesn't have good takes. All of this stuff, bro. All of this stuff. Do you guys want to know something funny? He got mad because I follow Geeky Cash because he posts rumors and leaks, and I wanted to keep up with what he was saying because he was getting some things right. And this dude called me fake because he got in a beef with him over nerd speech, and then not to mention Comic Cuts hit him up later saying no hard feelings, and then he was shocked when Geeky Cash was like, "Yeah, bro, I don't even remember who you are." This dude got mad at the Den of Nerds because the Den of Nerds follows him, but the Den of Nerds won't DM him back. Like, bro, this is content. No one owes you a response. Fun fact, my tweet got on his show, by the way. Has yours? Has yours? Has yours? And I'm not even trying to get noticed by other creators. I'm doing my own thing in my corner. And this is just the truth. Y'all would have never heard of Comic Cuts if I did not blast him to the world. And today he rides the coattails of other content creators because he knows that he's not a video content creator. He's a really good streamer. And I'm the first one to see that he had the talent to be a good streamer. That's why his streams do good. Because the dude is a talented streamer. But the reality is that he's a tweeter and he's a threads merchant. And I am the one who edited the content. I'm the one who gave you the shine. And you downed my character. And you, out of all people, should be giving me my flowers because I was nothing but good to you. And the reality is, you just don't know how content works, and you think you know everything, and you will end up how you started, sir. You will end up alone because you burn every single bridge that you built. Every single bridge that you've built is burnt, and any bridges that you have, they will fall because you are a snake, and that's just the truth of it, guys. This dude's a snake. This guy's a snake. And so after this video, there is and no no and here's the thing. Am I more mature than this? No, I'm not, because this is content and I'm going to milk it. This is content, so I'm going to milk the crap out of it. But I just had to go up here and tell y'all the truth. Y'all don't understand. This dude had no confidence until I came into the picture and told him, bro, you are good. You can do this. But look at his content and you'll see without the Stevie Hayes machine what is happening to his page. I could literally take his page right now. And this is no joke. I can take his page right now with the content he has and make his YouTube have over 200 subs in the next 2 weeks. I legit could. But he doesn't know the machine because he never cared to know about the machine. That's why his thumbnails are trash. That's why he posts 2-minute clips. When if you are a real YouTube content creator, that is not the right time frame to like get views for anything. And it is not sustainable. That's not sustainable content. The dude doesn't post for 2 weeks. Like y'all don't understand. I was the machine behind everything. That's why his stuff looks the way it does. But what can he do though? He can tweet. He can hop on threads. You know why? Because it's easy and quick. And that's the person he is. He's easy and quick. I've been doing this since 2019. I failed a 1,000 times, and I'm going to continue to fail. But one thing about me that you guys know, I show up every single day, 6 to 7 days a week, to give you content, and not just a tweet that I can fire off in 2 seconds. An actual video, an actual thought to challenge people, even if it's trolling. So yeah, man, that's all I gotta say, bro. This dude has called me a fake and all this stuff, all because he tweeted something and he thinks that's his IP. When we all cover the same stuff, we all come to the same thoughts on stuff. This is not anything new. I'm not going to like this guy. This guy is insane, bro. And this is why I tell people, man, like you got to be careful. Like, and if y'all want to take any advice from me, don't ignore the signs because he did this with two other people. I should have known this was going to happen to me. I should have known. This dude tells people, "Oh, post your comic recs." You gave me comic recs. I read them, and you got mad because I use those comics to make content. When you should be making that kind of content, number one, because you're the one that put me on to all these comics. And am I upset, hurt? Yeah, I'm hurt because it cut deep. 3 days after I have my child, a person that I viewed as a brother called me a thief. And that's why I say, I pray to God that I don't see you. Because if I see you, because if I see you, it's not going to be pretty, bro. Like but like, let's just hope that you and I don't cross paths in the next 5 years. Because what you did to me, what you did to me, comic cuts, it cut deep. It cut really deep, like deep to my core. And if I see you, let's just hope that doesn't happen, bro. I hope that doesn't happen. So I'm going to get back to my content. I'm going to get back to doing what I do, which is posting content. I should have a video out right now on Nightwing, but that's the truth. Did I do some things wrong? 100%. Could I have handled things better? Yes. Looking at the TikTok situation, like I literally texted him like saying, bro, like yo, like I did our whole TikTok wrong. You know, I should have made a separate like I came to him about some things that I did wrong. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but what did I do? I never stole that man's content. I never stole that man's ideas. I didn't think about him whenever I made my own content that was on my own because my world doesn't revolve around him. He thinks that everybody's world revolves around him. No one, no offense to you, bro, but no one cares about you and what you're doing except the people that support you, except the people that actually want to like bro, I have my own things going on. Even when we did the show, I was still making content on my own, doing news. And then when I got in the lore, you got mad. And the reason why you got mad is because I did it better than you. Because you don't have the mental capacity to make those kind of videos. You're the one that posted a bunch of posts promising people that you were going to do Secret Wars and comic breakdowns. And you never did. You know why? Because it takes you a lot of work to do that. It takes a lot of work to have to go panel by panel like Comics Explained does. But you don't have the patience to do that because you're not good. You're not like that. You don't put in work. You just run the AI to solve your problems. And I love AI. I do love AI. But I actually make content. I put you on, bro. So yeah, man, that's all I gotta say. I put this man on, and look, it's a I do take pride in that. But I don't take pride in his channel because it looks atrocious. He's still using my old green screen backgrounds. I chalked the green screen, and this man still has the brand of the green screen on his YouTube. Like, bro, this dude is so unprofessional, vaping on screen. Come on, man. This guy is it's levels, bro. It's levels to this. It's levels. But if you keep coming at me, I'm going to keep coming at you as long as it gives me views. If this video doesn't give me views, I won't talk about you again because it just shows that you're not important. I'm out.